Some episodes feel fast, things happen quickly, scenes move forward, and before you realize it, it's over. But then there are episodes like this one, where not much seems to happen, and yet it feels like you have experienced something much longer than its actual runtime. It feels complete, almost like it ended more than once, and somehow it keeps ending again and again. This is Perhaps Stories, and today we are looking at why the first episode of Reason feels long without ever feeling rushed. What makes this episode feel long does not come from its length, it comes from how it is structured. Because instead of telling one continuous story, it moves through multiple phases, each one reaching a point where it feels complete. First, there is the return after the journey, when the hero party comes back after defeating the Demon King, a moment that, in most stories, would already feel like the ending. Then comes the reunion, when they meet again after 50 years. Time has passed, but not equally for everyone. And again, it feels like something has concluded. Then the story moves into the funeral after Himmel's death. It's a quite heavy moment where the reality of time finally settles in. And once again, it feels like an ending, but it still does not stop there. Instead, it introduces something new when Priren decides to begin a new journey. She takes on a young apprentice, Fern, who has an assault talent for magic. Each of these parts could function as an ending on its own, and because the episode keeps reaching this point and then continuing beyond them, it creates a repeated sense of closure over and over again. And that's why the episode feels extended, not because it is longer, but because it contains multiple endings within it. But the structure alone isn't the full picture, because the way this episode handles emotion is just as important. It does not deliver its emotions immediately, it delays them. When Himal dies, Friend does not react strongly at first. She stands there quietly without fully understanding what she has lost. But later, that realization begins to surface. She starts to think about the time she spent with him and how little she tried to actually understand it. That's when the emotion actually hits. Not during the moment, but after it has already passed. And because of that, Alia since starts to feel different. The reunion, the conversations, the journey, they no longer feel complete. They feel like something she did not fully value at the time, and that feeling stretches the experience even more. So, in the end, it's not just one thing creating this feeling, it's the combination of structure and the way emotion is delivered. And maybe that's why it feels different. Because instead of moving forward in a straight line, the story keeps pausing long enough for each moment to feel like it could be the last, and then it continues again and again. Perhaps stories are not defined by how long they last, but by how many times they make us feel like they have ended.